Welcome back to another episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market Garden Shorts. Today's subject is another plant that I have that you don't, but maybe you do. Look at this specimen. Now, a lot of folks at the market, when they see this, think it's ginger. I'm going to let that sink in for a moment. They think it's ginger, and I really cannot see the resemblance personally. I mean, it doesn't look like ginger. I'm rotating it there for you. It doesn't look like ginger. If anything, it looks kind of like a canna lily. But this is actually a banana plant. Now, in case you didn't know, bananas are the world's largest herbaceous perennial, in that this entire green top you see can die back to the ground every year, and as long as the roots survive, you're going to get another shoot next year. Really cool. It's an interesting biological adaptation to survive difficult times in the environment. The scientific name is Musa itinerans, and the variety is Mekong Giant. Now there's more Latin terms on the end of that, actually, after itinerans. Variety xishuangbannaensis. I don't know why they needed to call it banaensis with extra A-N, E-Ns and stuff in there, but someone apparently had a sick sense of humor. Now, the name itinerans references its habit of producing offshoots a few feet away from the main plant, from the word itinerant, which means just out there all over the place. Now, it isn't native. It's actually from roughly the Mekong Delta and can be found in the Tibetan Plateau, meaning that it is from Asia. This variety, Mekong Giant, is cultivated for its traits, so it may not be the original stock, but it's certainly a cultivated variety that is worth having. It's hardy in USDA zones 6A through 11, though here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is 8A, we're certainly safe to put it in the ground, though I would recommend an inch or two, at least an inch of pine straw mulch, just to protect its rhizomatous roots from any freezes we may have. I have no information on what soil pH it prefers, but I imagine that it's probably somewhere around neutral, maybe a little alkaline, maybe a little acidic. Don't know. It does seem to like plain old potting soil, so there is that. Its exposure is full sun, which is, perfectly fine. We have no shortage of that in Fayetteville. And its mature height is theoretically 40 feet. However, normally in home cultivation, that might be 6 to 12 feet, possibly 20 maybe. It depends on your climate. It depends on if the central stalk survives winter. There's a bunch of factors involved. In the case of my specimen here, I'm going to keep it in a pot probably until I'm ready to plant it, and I don't know when that'll be. I don't know anything about its spread, but I do know that the planting instructions say that it needs 10 feet of space. That's 10 feet on center, meaning 5 feet on either side, 10 feet total. Okay, that means it's going to be a big old hefty boy. It has another nickname, and that's the Yunnan banana. That's all I was able to find there. The Yunnan banana. I am not making a Muppet joke. No, not happening. Not this episode. Now, what's interesting is that it was the 24,200th plant saved at the Kew Gardens in the Millennium Seed Bank. So it's kind of an important world food plant. The inner stalk is eaten in certain cuisine in its native region as a vegetable. Because again, it's an herbaceous plant, you can get away with that and it'll just resprout. The fruit essentially is a plantain, and it matures to a purple color, which I cannot wait to see that. That's gonna be dope. It also sounds like something that probably belongs in Alice in Wonderland. Probably the Cheshire Cat chewing on one of these things while stalking Dorothy. The flowers are red and yellow, and banana flowers are not that showy, but the idea of red and yellow ones kind of intrigues me. I mean, the fruit's crazy and the flowers are crazy. We gonna find out, folks. Also, it has a plant patent. The plant patent number is 24315. So we know that this plant has been cultivated, we know that it is different enough to have received a patent, and we know for a fact that if you want to get one, you're going to have to go through a grower who got clearance. Now, there are a couple places to get this. I've seen them in catalogs. One Green World, I believe, had them, and a few other places had them. I'm going to recommend that if you're going to order plants like this, order them now, ASAP, because after a certain point they won't ship because it's too cold where they are and they cannot guarantee the plants will survive, or they'll overnight FedEx or something similar, and then the price goes up. What was a $20 plant will suddenly becomes a $50 plant because of the shipping or something. Yeah, seriously. If I'd have thought of doing this series of exotics sooner, I could have gotten that to you sooner, but all them other garden plants had to be covered first. Well, anyway, this is Mekong Giant Banana. I think you should have it, if only because of how weird it is. You put it in the center of a bed and you have it be the focal point and you just mess with people. What's not to love? Hey, what is that? Oh, that's my, Supermax Canna Generalis. Yes. And for those of you who don't know, Canna Generalis, also known as Canna Lily, looks a lot like this plant. If I didn't know the difference, or I didn't know what to look for, I might not know the difference at all. I don't believe Canna Generalis is edible, and I don't think they're even remotely related. But, because this is a Musa and that's a Canna. I kind of do it, Captain. I don't have the power. But anyway, with that said, I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe. Please leave leave me some comments, any questions you got. And as always, folks, keep them growing.